from patreon.com/Jobble. Long and short tail keywords. If you're running a small to medium sized business in the UK, you know that it's really tough to compete with really big companies and massive marketing budgets. The resources that go into promoting a really big brand dwarf what is possible for the average small business, especially when most small businesses are trying to sort the websites themselves in amongst doing all the rest of their work. But there's a bit of a trick that you can do that levels the playing field a bit, and it's about long tail keywords. Long tail keywords can help local businesses and independent businesses compete in Google and search engines for traffic. So today I'm going to break down the differences between short and long tail keywords, and hopefully give you some advice about how you can use keywords on your website and attract the visitors that are searching for the services that you offer without needing to have a huge marketing budget. This might sound complicated, but it's really not. Okay, so let's get stuck in. So first up, keywords. I've already done a post about keywords that you might want to listen to, but in summary, they're just the words that people type into Google when they're looking for something. So first up, we've got short tail keywords. These are basic, no-frills search terms. One or two words, so maybe pizza, or plumber, or dentist. These terms get loads of searches. Thousands of people in Manchester alone will be searching for pizza, or haircut, or plumber, or dentist. But these search terms are also really competitive. Like the results that show up here in the organic listings, we've got Rudy's, Pizza Hut, Chroma. Actually, it's doing local results here because it knows that I'm in Prestwich. So I'll search on startpage.com, which gives me, I'm going to search on Startpage here so I'm not getting personalized results for me, because Google knows that I'm in Prestwich and it's going to offer me results for things that are in Prestwich. But Startpage searches Google anonymously without Google knowing specifically where you are, which gives you a better insight into what the true search results are like. So if I search on here for pizza, we'll see that it's come up with the definition of pizza from Wikipedia, some pizza place in Winsford, Pizza Hut, the Wikipedia page, Domino's, Pizza Express, Rudy's, that pizza place, Pizza Express, Papa John's, all the big names. And even on my local search result here, it's mostly the big names that are taking up the results. There's Rudy's, Pizza Hut, Wikipedia, Domino's, Pizza Express, TripAdvisor, all big international brands that have huge marketing budgets. Now, a long tail keyword is a longer and more specific phrase. So this might be something like vegan pizza in Manchester. These search terms don't get anywhere near as many searches as just the word pizza, but they're very specific. The people that are searching for vegan pizza in Manchester know exactly what they want, and if that's what you offer, then you're laughing. The competition for these search terms as well is more likely to be local businesses with more reasonable marketing budgets, meaning that this search term is easier to rank for. So the results here, we've got Pure Reza, a pizza place in the Northern Quarter. Then we've got a vegan website talking about the best pizza places in Manchester, a couple of blogs, Pure Reza again, something from the University of Manchester, Prove. So there is actually only a few entirely vegan pizza places in Manchester. And those are all showing up. You know, we've got Prove, we've got Rudy's. Rudy's isn't entirely vegan, but they do have a lot of vegan pizzas. And we've got Pure Reza. And as far as I know, those are the vegan pizza places in Manchester. So they're all showing up on the first page here. So what we've seen here then is that by targeting a longer search term, it's easier to show up on the first page of Google results. Now let's talk about searcher intent. I've mentioned this in previous posts, but this is basically marketing speak for what people actually want when they're typing stuff into Google. So there's different types of user intent. Some people are just looking for information. For example, they might be searching for what are vegan pizza toppings, or they might be searching for something specific, like Pure Reza, Manchester opening times, or they might be comparing options. So they might be saying tastiest vegan pizza in Manchester, or they could be ready to spend money immediately. So they could be searching for book a table pizza Manchester. These long tail keywords can tell you quite a lot about what's going on in the searcher's head when they use Google. If someone just searches for pizza, it's very hard to know what they want. Do they want to learn about the history of pizza? Do they want to order a pizza? Do they just somehow not know what pizza is? There's a whole bunch of questions that they could be asking. But if someone searches for book a table pizza Manchester, you know that they're specifically looking to book a table ASAP for pizza in Manchester. For another example, let's search for solicitor. So the results that come up here, because Google knows that I'm in Prestwich, would just be every solicitor that's near me. Someone searching for solicitors could be searching for anything to do with needing legal help. But let's say if they search for no win, no fee, cycling, accident, solicitor in Manchester, someone searching for this phrase has a specific problem who needs help right now, and the results that come up should be more specific than just solicitor. They'll be talking about people who specifically talk about no win, no fee services for cycling accident claims. I'm not sure how much I trust this AI summary at the top, but a lot of people will be clicking on that in any case. So when we're talking about search your intent, we're talking about matching what you offer to what people are searching for. And that's how you turn someone who's just browsing the internet into a customer. So how can we address search your intent with long tail keywords? Well, the key really is your unique selling points. What makes your business special? What makes it different from the competition? Why should someone pick you over someone else down the road? So first up, we've got to figure out what makes you special. Maybe you're the only bike shop in Levenshulme that does repairs while you wait. Maybe you're a hairdresser in Prestwich who specializes in hair coloring. Or maybe you're a equipment supplier who uses eco-friendly materials. Or perhaps all of your ingredients are sourced locally. Or perhaps your customer service is exceptional. Or maybe you've got special qualifications that most of your competition don't have. Whatever these aspects are of your business that make them special is what you want to be thinking about in terms of long tail keywords. So let's assume now that you've thought of a whole bunch of unique selling points about your business. How are we going to incorporate those into your website and your online presence in a way that Google will understand? So the first thing that I would advise is, if you've got a speciality, you should probably have a whole page on your website about that. If you're a solicitor and you specialize in cycling accidents, it's definitely worth having a page on your site that is about cycling accidents. And we'll see here that the results that are coming up for no win, no fee cycling accident solicitor in Manchester are specifically cyclist injury pages on their site. Here's someone else cycling accident solicitors Manchester. Here's a cycling accidents page on another site. These people have made dedicated pages about their specialities with content on it that specifically addresses these long tail search phrases. If you wanted to target a question kind of long tail search phrase, like how much does a boiler repair cost? A good way to target this search phrase would be to have an FAQ section somewhere on your website that answered this question directly. I'd imagine if I scroll down here, you see we've got a whole bunch of results that are specifically answering questions about the cost of repairing boilers. Another way that you might be able to squeeze a long tail search phrase onto your site is to have a case study. So an example that I know for this is Solar Panel Fitting Prestwich. The company that did our solar panels, Renegade Solar, have a page on their website that's about solar panels in Prestwich. And there's a case study on there that's actually from me about the solar panels that Renegade fitted on my house. That's not my house at the top. Here we see we've got a Prestwich testimonial, and we've got some words from me about the specifics of the fitting that they did on my house in Prestwich. Another great way to get long tail search phrases onto your site is to quote some reviews on your website. If I click through to Renegade's reviews page here, we'll see that the reviews about this business are mentioning tons of long tail search phrases that are to do with specific problems that the company has solved. So here we've got, for example, removed an EV charger, or fitted a ceiling light, or updated light switches and moved a ceiling light. Someone on Google might be searching for update light switches and move a ceiling light in Prestwich, and Renegade Solar is likely to show up for that search term. Now that we've got some ideas about incorporating these long tail search phrases onto your website, what are some mistakes that you might make? Well, the first one is something that I've already mentioned before, keyword stuffing. If you're a plumber in Manchester, you don't want to write a sentence on your website that's like, our Manchester Plumbing, Manchester Services provide Manchester homeowners with Manchester's best Manchester plumbing. That reads really unnaturally. It's horrible to read. And Google's not daft. Google knows that this content is being written for search engines and isn't about answering searcher intent. Google's not daft. Another mistake that I see pretty often is people creating lots of different pages on their site that are basically targeting the same phrase. So, for example, if you're a painter and decorator and you've got a page on your site that's about house painting in Charlton, you've got another page that's about home painting in Charlton, and another one that's about residential painting in Charlton. These basically all mean the same thing. That's duplicate content. You'd be much better off having one solid page about house painting in Charlton that happened to also mention the words home and residential, and having one really good solid page rather than a whole bunch of kind of naff duplicated ones. Another mistake that I see is people using language on their site that their potential customers don't use. The common one that I see all the time is in the equipment hire space, for example, bouncy castles, where people will talk about bouncy castle rentals on their site. But people in the UK aren't searching for bouncy castle rental. The term rental in the UK is generally talking about your house or your home. It's not talking about hiring out a piece of equipment for a party. So there's no point you using the word rental on your page about bouncy castle hire, because your potential customers in the UK aren't using that phrase. So to go over what we've talked about just now, targeting long tail keywords basically means thinking about the unique selling points of your business and incorporating those onto your website. If there's no existing space where you can mention those unique selling points, then make a specific page about them. Likewise, if your about page or your home page doesn't mention those points, try and fit them in there. I think it's quite likely, really, that you can probably mention all of your unique selling points on each of your product pages, category pages, or service pages, because probably there's just 2 or 3 things that really set you apart from your competition. So you want to be dragging those points home through your website. To talk about Renegade Solar again, because I helped them out with their website. Renegade are an MCS accredited solar panel installer. That's an accreditation that some people will specifically be searching for, but because it indicates a level of trustworthiness of the installer. So if I search for MCS solar installer Prestwich, because either the first result is Renegade Solar in Prestwich, the website that I helped out with. And someone who searches for MCS solar installer Prestwich is probably a more useful customer than someone who just searches for solar installer Prestwich, because the person who searches for MCS is interested in the quality of the service. By targeting these long tail keywords, you can attract visitors who are searching for specific aspects of your business that might justify you charging more than your competition. This kind of leads me on to something else that I was thinking that I should maybe do a Patreon video about, but I think is worth mentioning here, that it's always worth competing on quality rather than price. And long tail keywords are a really good way to do that, because with long tail keywords, you're targeting savvy customers. Someone who just searches for solar installer, I would assume, knows less than someone who searches for MCS solar installer. The person who searches for MCS might know that the MCS certification is a measure of quality. And on average, I think the MCS solar installer searchers will be happier paying a higher price than just the solar installer searchers. So if you've got any accreditations or any qualifications or anything else that sets you apart and can be used as a measure of quality for your business, it's definitely worth hammering that home through the content on your website. The ideal visitor to your website is someone who knows exactly what they're looking for and you provide exactly that service. And the searchers of long tail keywords are more likely to be that kind of visitor. I hope this is making sense. I feel like I've waffled a fair bit, and I hope that when I edit this together, it sounds more cohesive than it currently sounds when I'm speaking it out loud. But to conclude here, make a list of the unique selling points of your business. Write content for your website that addresses those unique selling points. Make sure that savvy visitors who are looking for a high quality service are able to find you if they're searching for long tail search terms. And quality aside, make sure that your website mentions the products and services that you do. And if it's something that's of high value to you, then make sure that the page that's on your site that addresses that search term is of similarly high quality, that it addresses the phrases that searchers are using. Over and out. Thanks for listening. Ciao, ciao.